Son Ye-jin has never been the kind of person who demands attention by raising her voice. Hyun has never relied on personal stories to remain visible in the public eye. And yet, when these two names appear together, people pause. Not because they expect something sensational, and not because they are waiting for a dramatic reveal, but because there is a quiet sense of stability surrounding them that feels increasingly rare in the entertainment industry. They are not compelling because of what they openly share. They are compelling because of what they consistently choose to withhold. In an environment where visibility is often maintained through constant updates, Son Ye-jin and Hyun have built a presence defined by restraint. Their appearances feel intentional rather than reactive. Their words feel considered rather than performative. Even their silences feel deliberate, as though they are part of a long-term choice rather than an absence. Son Ye-jin's public image has always been marked by a sense of continuity. From early in her career, she was recognized not for dramatic reinvention, but for steadiness. While many careers rise through sharp pivots and highly visible transformations, hers developed through accumulation. Role by role, year by year, she established herself as someone who did not rush to redefine her identity with every new phase. What many viewers notice about Son Ye-jin is not simply her work, but the emotional atmosphere she brings with her. There is a calmness to her presence that does not feel passive. Instead, it feels rooted. When she appears, whether in interviews or public settings, there is little sense of urgency. She does not appear to be chasing approval, nor does she seem concerned with proving relevance. This has shaped how audiences relate to her. She is not positioned as distant, but she is also not framed as accessible in a confessional way. The boundary between her public role and private self is clear, and over time, that clarity has fostered trust. People know where the line is, and they learn to respect it. Son Ye-jin has rarely used her personal life as a narrative tool. Her public statements tend to focus on her craft, her experiences within her profession, and general reflections that do not invite speculation. When she speaks, her words are measured. When she remains silent, the silence does not feel evasive. It feels complete. As years passed and her career matured, there was no visible struggle to maintain momentum. She did not cling to earlier versions of herself, nor did she publicly frame change as something that required explanation. She allowed her image to evolve naturally, without spectacle. Before being associated with any personal role beyond her profession, Son Ye-jin was already perceived as a complete individual. Her sense of identity did not appear dependent on partnership, nor did her public presence rely on attachment to another figure. She stood firmly on her own foundation. Hyun, while different in temperament, projects a similarly grounded presence. His public image has been defined by consistency and discipline. Over the years, he has maintained a controlled approach to visibility, carefully separating professional engagement from personal disclosure. Hyun does not perform intimacy in public settings. His interviews rarely delve into emotional territory, and when they do, the language remains general. He avoids elaboration. He avoids dramatization. What he shares tends to be limited to what is necessary, and no more. In an industry where openness is often encouraged as a way to cultivate relatability, his restraint stands out. Yet, it does not read as cold or distant. Instead, it conveys a sense of self-assurance. He appears comfortable with not being fully known. Because of this, moments when Hyun does acknowledge aspects of his personal life, even briefly, tend to draw attention. Not because the content is revealing, but because it aligns with a pattern that audiences recognize. His words feel unforced. They do not appear designed to shape opinion or generate interest. Over time, this approach has built a different kind of trust. People do not expect frequent updates from him. They do not anticipate emotional transparency. What they do expect is consistency, and that expectation is rarely disrupted. When Son Ye-jin and Hyun are considered together, the reason they continue to hold public interest becomes clearer. They do not present themselves as a narrative in progress. They do not invite audiences to follow a storyline. Instead, they allow their presence to be observed without commentary. There is no sense that either individual relies on the other to complete an image. Both had established identities, careers, and public perceptions long before being associated together. When they appear side by side, the impression is not one of fusion, but of alignment. This dynamic resonates with many people. It suggests a relationship built not on urgency or dependency, but on mutual stability. There is no visible imbalance, no suggestion that one person's presence amplifies or diminishes the other. Recently, a personal milestone associated with Son Ye-jin briefly brought renewed attention to both figures. The moment itself was understated. There were no large-scale public gestures, no extended messages shared directly with audiences, and no effort to frame the occasion as a media event. Around the same period, Hyun Bin was referenced in connection with a few general remarks about family life. These comments were not positioned as announcements, nor were they framed as personal revelations. They appeared as part of broader conversations, without emphasis or elaboration. What followed was telling. The public response was calm. There was no surge of speculation, no widespread attempt to interpret meaning beyond what was shared. Instead, the moment passed with quiet acknowledgement. Messages that appeared online during this time focused largely on well-being, balance, and stability. The tone was supportive rather than inquisitive. There was little interest in detail and little desire for expansion. This reaction reflected something that had been built over many years. Son Ye-jin and Hyun Bin have, through consistent behavior, set expectations. They have shown that they will not overshare. They have shown that they will not dramatize personal milestones. And in doing so, they have taught audiences how to engage with them. In a media landscape driven by constant engagement, this restraint creates a different rhythm. Their story does not unfold through updates. It unfolds through absence, through the accumulation of time, through the repetition of choices that remain steady. They are not followed because they promise access. They are followed because they offer reliability. Their public presence does not spike and disappear. It remains level, predictable, and grounded. There is something reassuring about watching public figures who do not appear to be performing their lives. Their choices feel lived in rather than staged. Their appearances feel intentional rather than reactive. Even when little is visible, there is no sense of withdrawal. This may be why their names continue to resonate even in moments of quiet. Not because audiences expect something dramatic to happen, but because they trust the consistency of what is shown. In many ways, Son Ye-jin and Hyun Bin represent a model of public presence that prioritizes longevity over immediacy. They do not chase attention. They allow attention to arrive naturally and then let it pass. Their story is not defined by specific dates, statements, or events. It is defined by the way they have chosen to exist in the public eye over time. Calmly, deliberately, and without explanation. They remind audiences that not every meaningful story needs to be narrated in real time. Some stories are built quietly through repetition, through restraint, and through the confidence to let moments remain unspoken. And perhaps that is why, even when there is little to say, people continue to listen.